All right, what's your guys' names?
Jordan Belt.
Trey Clemens.
Jordan, Trey, thank you guys for coming. What are your first impressions on the game today?
We play well.
I like the tempo, I like the energy. Go Bucks.
Obviously, in the first half, didn't really reflect on what the score we see now. What do you think the biggest problem for the Bucks was today?
I'm not really sure. Ask Trey.
A little slow starting off. Just defense kind of let up a little bit early, but then they got together. They got it up at halftime. Urban rallied the troops, and they came out strong.
Do you think that this is anything that we should worry about in the future, playing against like a Michigan or Michigan State type team?
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely not. No way.
What is your prediction for the Buckeyes moving forward this season?
They freaking win the national championship.
I'm taking the natty. Nothing less.
Is there any final thoughts you have for all the Buckeye fans out there? Anything you want to say? Anything you're dying to tell everyone?
Freaking Heisman for Dwayne Haskins.
OH.
All right, what's your name, sir?
My name is Braden.
Braden, it's great to have you here. First impression on the game, go.
It started out kind of shaky, I felt, but then we really showed how good we can be. Pretty good finish, feeling good.
Do you think there was a standout player from today's game?
Oh, Johnny Dixon played pretty well. Pretty good catch. Feeling good. Johnny Dixon.
Obviously a slow start. Do you think it's anything that we should be worried about in the future? Or you think it was just a little bit of the jitters, especially coming back after a big win against Penn State?
We looked a little, I guess hungover is the proper word, a little hungover out of the gate. Few pass interference calls. Secondary got shredded a little early, but so I guess secondary, to answer your question, kind of let's work on that.
You think penalties were a big problem? Obviously quite a few pass interferences, as you said, a couple of other penalties. Do you think that's something we need to work on, or do you think that was just kind of a game type thing?
I think we were a little hungover. I don't have the official stat, but there were significantly more. It felt like in the first half. Just work on that, I guess. Just kind of learn to recover, because if playoff rolls around, you win that semifinal, you play again in the week. So you got to recover quickly, I guess.
Yeah. And we haven't really been tested with a deep ball this season. Do you think that really affected us today? Obviously, that longer touchdown and a couple of times even overthrown balls, but we still got burned deep. You think that's going to be a problem in the future?
They're definitely going to have to work on that. There was a few one-on-one matchups and man coverage that didn't go favorably, but they will definitely work on that.
Cool, great. Do you have any final thoughts for all the fans out there?
For all the fans, I'm feeling pretty good this season. Have high expectations. Go Bucks, man.
Go Bucks. All right, cool. What's your name, sir?
JT Barrett.
JT Barrett, it's great to have you back here. First of all, thank you for your service to all that you've done for this school. Great game today, obviously huge win. What are your first impressions of the game today?
Started slow, ended fast. The Buckeyes, they're on their path to another national title. I feel it this week more than any other. After coming off that slog against Penn State and coming out here and just representing against IU, I feel JT Barrett is our greatest quarterback ever, and now we have Haskins to lead us to glory.
What do you obviously you mentioned a slow start. What do you think contributed to that?
It just looked like IU had a good game plan for us early on. They were they were playing that swing pass really well, where the corners weren't open to us, and so forcing us to use Haskins in a couple runs himself, which that's not him. That's not him. He's not JT Barrett. So we're not getting anywhere doing that. But using Weber and our running backs through the middle was kind of where they funneled us, and we just find a way to work around that and make scores, make it happen. Yeah.
Any final thoughts for all the Buckeye fans out there?
National championship 2018, where are you? I'm going to be here at the shoe, baby.
All right, what's your guys' names?
Ryan.
I'm Greg.
Ryan and Greg, great to have you guys here. First impressions on the game, go.
We played well, lots of passing, and a few runs.
Some good football.
Anything you specifically think that we need to work on?
The penalties. The Zebras gave us a lot of junk out there. I think they just need to go back to the zoo.
I think we got to improve on the football.
Do you think the penalties were more on us, or do you think the refs were a little bit shaky, do you think?
A little bit of both. I thought it was a little BS with the right elbow is inbounds call, but other than that, a little bit on us.
I think the refs were making some soft calls, but other than that, I think it was a good game.
Obviously, great win against Penn State last week. Do you think that was our toughest matchup of the season, or do you think the toughest road is yet to come?
Our true rival for the last game, that's definitely going to be the toughest one, but Penn State comes at a close second.
Yeah, I think Penn State was like our first real challenge, but Michigan will definitely be pretty tough.
What are you guys' Heisman predictions for this season?
Dwayne Haskins.
Haskins.
Good answers. All right, any final thoughts on the Bucks or anything you'd like to say to all the fans out there?
Hi, Mom.
Go Bucks.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Jeff.
Jeff, it's great to have you here. First impressions on the game.
Wow, it was a tough one, man. It was a grinder. Thought it would be a lot farther. I mean, not that close, but man, they were close. Close.
Do you think it had anything to do with the big win hangover, or do you think it was just kind of logistical problems that we need to work on?
I'm not sure they were drinking that much and they had much of a hangover from it, but that might have been part of it.
Yeah, is there anything specifically you think the Bucs should work on?
Pass more, run less. That's about it.
Do you have any tips or predictions for the team this year?
We'll probably make it to the Final Four, but we're going to have a tough time once we get there.
Yeah. Do you think that Penn State last week was our biggest opponent yet, or do you think it's yet to come with Michigan or possibly Michigan State?
That's probably our biggest opponent. Definitely yet, and probably the rest of this regular season.
Great. Do you have any final thoughts for all the fans out there?
No, go Bucks.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Chris.
Chris, it's great to have you here. What are your first impressions on the game today?
I think it was awesome. I mean, I think Ohio State played good. I mean, against Indiana, following the Penn State game, it was awesome. So, yeah.
Do you think that Penn State game was our toughest test so far, or do you think there's something else that's ahead of us that will be even harder?
No, definitely. I think the Penn State would be the toughest game, and it was our toughest game. So, yeah, that was a pivotal point in our season. So, yes.
Obviously, a little shaky on defense, especially at the beginning of the game. Do you think Bosa being out has anything to do with that?
Yes, I do. I think Bosa, he plays a key role in the defense, and I think him being out does play a role in our defense, yes.
Do you think we'll be able to move on and win without him, potentially, if he's out for a long time?
Oh, without a doubt. For the rest of the season, yes.
For sure. And then, obviously, Haskins got rushed a little bit due to his 2 interceptions were because he got hit on both times. Do you think our offensive line has anything to work on? He seems that he's been more rushed in recent games than usual.
I think he'll be able to build on what he's learned, and he'll be able to improve for the rest of the season, yeah.
What are your predictions going forward for this Buckeye team?
Undefeated. I think we'll go number 2, yeah.
You think we're going to win it all?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
Can I get a Go Bucks for the camera?
Go Bucks!
What's your name, sir?
My name's Evan Durkin.
Evan Durkin, it's great to have you here. What are your first impressions on the game today?
Outstanding. Offense was great. A little disappointed by all the penalties, but that's just what happens, I guess, right?
Yeah, what do you think was the reason for all the penalties? And even, I don't know if you remember this, but we burned all our first three timeouts in 9 minutes. Do you have any idea what the reason for that was?
I don't know. I was puzzled by that. I think it's a bad strategy to use all your timeouts in the first quarter because you might need them before halftime, in the second quarter if you're driving. So, but I just think overall the officiating was not very good today. Yeah.
Do you think the penalties were more of like a game thing, or do you think this is something that the Buckeyes will constantly see each game they play?
I think it seems to happen more often as you go from game to game, that a lot of penalties where you just scratch your head and you go, why was that called, Or you see across college football and other games, you don't see those penalties being called as often. So it's something that I don't understand.
Yeah, I agree with you. How do you feel about our secondary today? Obviously, we didn't give up that many points through our secondary. I mean, we did, but not a lot of deep balls. There was that one deep touchdown, and some of our corners kept getting burned. Some of the balls were overthrown, though. Do you think there's a reason for that?
I think the secondary's obviously gotten better. I think from week to week, I get mistakes happen. So, offense. Obviously there were some overthrown passes, and Haskins has a great arm. So if he can just dial it back a little bit on some of those plays, especially there toward the end of the game with was that Dobbins? He missed Dobbins. I was like, he's right there. So.
What's the biggest thing that you think the Buckeyes need to work on going down the season if they're going to win it all?
I guess defense. Our linebackers seem to be still kind of a weak part of the defense, but overall they are getting better. So, and that's important. I guess just keeping with the explosive offense. You got to score points to win the game. So, if you can't do that, you're not a championship team, right?
Do you have any predictions for this team?
Well, I hope they at least go to the Big Ten Championship since I have tickets already for that game. So I want them to at least go and
You're a good fan.
At least win that game. And then beyond that, they can at least do that, everybody wants a championship, but you can't always have a championship.
Any final thoughts for all the fans out there?
Just go Bucks.